Scrub Killa is who we're looking at next on Dignitas. Dignitas, that team that definitely everybody had high expectations for going into the fall split with the addition of Scrub on this team with Jack and Jorius. And I think some questions still remain for people. They didn't perform the best at Sweden. Yes, they went 9-0 in Swiss. A lot of it was their strength of schedule there. Wasn't really indicative, I think, though, of how they could have played. They had a really tough series against Semper in the quarterfinals, and they ended up losing that game. So we're looking at Scrub, and I know Scrub's a hot topic lately in general, but we're not going to be talking about Scrub the guy on this stream. We're going to be talking about Scrub the player and what he's doing on the pitch. Right now, rotating back quickly. He's got a good touch out. He's going to look for a bump out, create some value that way. Now has to rotate back. He's going to swing wide here. Joyo having that touch. Scrub keeps that close, gives Jack a look at it. First and foremost, how Scrub is feeling with Jack and Jorius on his team. That ball's sailing by. And I think maybe here is a couple of times we might be calling Scrub out on, but we'll see. Coming back, he recovers in net, gets demoed by Rise. Will spawn in position for this one. And land really poorly. We'll get that boost steal. Try to get a demo. Use more boost to try to get a demo. Gave space to both Jack and Jorius. Now, Vatira was able to get back into the spot, but we talked about other players and the benefits that constantly looking for demos and physicality as first man, what kind of benefits it can give your team. Well, here's a close third man of Scrub. He'll pull back on a catch, bring it back safely. He would bait Joyo in had Jack not deleted him, and then he forces Vatira to make a challenge in front. Scrub gets another bump onto Vatira. And he's going to rotate real far back on this one. Still last man back as Jack came back in. And Rise couldn't put that ball in on him, but Scrub protected the net. It was good enough. Up high, he got the second read. Good reads from Scrub, and good follow-ups on his touches so far. Oh, try to get up there for a challenge. That's tough. Too much time and space for Queso. So Jorius pulls off on this play. Scrub actually pulls on. He wants to go onto the wall, but then sees Jorius is going to do it. So he decides to wait. Then that ball kicks straight back out. Jorius doesn't get a touch on the ball. So now Scrub is left, well, waiting for that. Joyo makes the smart touch, forces Scrub to have to get up to try to make that save. And maybe Scrub can get to that if he jumps a little more vertical instead of forward. But he wants to meet Rise on that challenge, but you see how much forward velocity he has on that jump. Puts him just a little too far forward, and eventually they end up getting scored on. So, Joria's big miss. I would say no touch from him. Scrub was expecting a touch, and Scrub did not get a touch. And they just got scored on the kickoff. So right here, let's see. Scrub comes up on the cheat. He doesn't win the ball, so he'll go for the boost. Really risky. Really risky formation. Because if you don't get this cheat up, you've left your third man all by himself, and he has to win the 50. So Scrub's not going to get to that ball, and that 50 is perfect for Joyo to hit over to Rise. So that's what happens when you don't win the cheat up, and you force your third man into a 50-50 spot like that. Oh, nice catch from Joyo. Scrub not going to be in position for that one. Gets kicked out by Joyo. Coming right back in as Jorius rotates out. Now he can play that ball close. Only Jorius can get to that ball, so it's smart touch by Scrub. Or rather, it was a smart touch by Scrub because Jorius was the only one who could get to it. Scrub going to stay in this play. He's got a couple pads for his mark. And really forcing Queso to think about that play. And eventually the goal happens. So this is good work from not only Jack, but also Scrub on this play. Jack gets the initial carry here, right? Scrub's got the follow-up. You know Joriez is behind you, so you can play aggressive as second man. Joyo's playing you pretty high up. So all Scrub's trying to do here is prevent the challenge from going wrong. You got both Vatira and Joyo who can collapse on this ball and force this. They can both collapse on the ball and force the ball to go out this way on the 50. Scrub is just here to make sure that doesn't happen. And it doesn't happen. Going back again. And he gets a clean touch out. Now he's got no boost. Rise pulls off the play, but Scrub's still got control. And because you are working under the knowledge that Team Queso don't know how much boost you have, you can force a much more favorable 50. I love that Scrub, right after winning this touch, Rise pulls off. So Scrub really squares up here. Doesn't flip early into this ball. Waits. Gets another spot into Rise. He knows Rise is turned around, and Rise is not going to get a solid 50 opportunity no matter what while he's behind that ball. So Scrub has got the advantage here in terms of his positioning and control. So he waits, pushes into that ball. Rise is in a difficult situation. Scrub saves his 50 and his dodge to bore right through Rise, and it gives Dignitas a goal. Apparently Jack kept that one close. It was nice, but Scrub Killa had really big brain play in front of the net there against Rise. Good 50. Off the ceiling. A lot of boost to utilize that. Now he's got to get back. He's only got 4. He'll pick up a couple small pads, but Scrub not taking himself out of the play. Taking advantage of the time Jack has given him to grab 64 in the tank, and he's with Jack the whole play. Joriez ends up kicking that ball away. Scrub will come back. But Scrub was preventing any kind of quick clear from coming out. Flip right back. Rise is going to cut that one off. Jack's there again. Scrub turns right back around, uses a lot of boost to control this. But he's got control, forces Joyo up. And, massive miss, or massive clear from Joriez, if you will. Used his boost to catch up to that ball, and he got the catch. And I love those opportunities from Scrub. Really prefers to keep that ball close if he can. Scrub will not kick that ball away if he doesn't think he needs to. So far, at least in the first game we've watched against Queso. He's going to pull off wide here. It's the end of regulation, so really just protect the ball. Joyo's way over you, no problem. So I actually think Scrub and Jack have been linking up a lot. Scrub having a lot of low boost attacking plays. And now here, no corner boost spawn for him. Had 37, but that's all he needed. We'll pitch it high. Gives Jack a chance in midfield. Scrub playing aggressive up his third man. And a couple of nice 50s allow him to get into position. But Jack's still coming back, and Queso did a good job killing the play. Not every play will result in a boon, even if you make what you feel are every correct decision, or you make every correct challenge. Scrub's gonna wait. Sees Rise. Good positioning so far from Scrub. I think some people have really harped on Scrub for some of his positioning, maybe in the past. Only one game through the body of work we're looking at so far, but it's not bad. He gets demoed again by Rise. Not exactly where you want to spawn, but apparently Jack's just so good at controlling that ball and giving it time to breathe. And all Scrub has to do is win the 50 there. And he did. Gave Joriez a chance. Joriez wins a couple nutty touches. Scrub can't get there, but it forced Rise into a hard clear opportunity. So again, You don't always create value on the ball. Sometimes you create value off the ball and just with your presence. And I think Scrub really exemplified that here. So off the spawn, he sees Jack. He was prepared for the loss. Remember what we talked about before when we looked at Archie with trying to predict the future and positioning for the future? Rather, Scrub is positioning for the most possible futures. And Jack ends up winning that touch. But based on how Scrub was seeing that play, it wasn't the best. He's not sure where Rise is going to go with that ball. So he comes down off of it, uses a little boost to catch up to it. Rise is going to come up the side, but all Scrub has to do is punch it off of Rise like that. And it was a decent enough approach. Now he can come in. Scrub not taking himself out of the play. He only had 23 boost there on the pads, but he wanted to give himself a chance to respond there. And staying in the path of the play, again, gives you some sort of benefit. Well, Rise sees Scrub, and he's like, I gotta bomb this ball down the pitch, even though Scrub doesn't really have a chance at that. Rise only has one option, and that's to kick that ball over Scrub and end up giving possession back to Dignitas. Scrub demoed by Vatira. He's probably happy about that one. Still no boost will spawn for him. Queso or one of his teammates have been taking that pretty consistently. He has not had a lot of success finding that corner boost. Comes right back in, but Scrub's so unwilling to leave the play. As soon as he sees an opportunity or he sees the play developing, you can see the confidence as soon as he rotates back in. He does not take himself out of the play willingly. He gets bumped. Leaves Jorby all by himself. Scrub not having to do too much there. Apparently Jack is really all over this match, right? All over this game with Queso. And Scrub's just having to be in the right spot and follow it up. That's the beauty of having, you know, a mechanical player like Jack on your team, who's so good at getting behind that ball, beating you with that speed that you really don't expect. That we call that a quick launch speed. Nice touch, but Scrub again, not a lot of boost. He's been working with low boost a lot. So let's see what exactly is going on here in this overtime. Closer look, because he's just not willing to take himself out of the play. He does try to boost through these pads. He did take himself out to get that canister, but we haven't seen that too often. Not the best. And that's a panicky defense here. Now Queso are in control. They don't really get punished for it. Scrub again, trying to keep himself orientated to the play, but only 32 boost. He's still going to jump at it. But where you might see another difference where a player might turn around and give the opponent a free pass, Scrub, even if he has 32 boost, he's just going to jump at it anyway. And I think that that is a product of who he's playing with. He has such faith in his teammates that he knows that instead of trying to go out and go for the outplay himself, he can at least be in the rotation, force the opponent's rotation to go in a certain direction, make the reads easier for Jack and Joria's on the turnaround, and eventually they do whittle them down. But I really like Scrub on a lot of those plays. He uses a lot of boost to keep himself in the play, but his boost pathing is really solid overall. He hasn't really taken himself out of too many opportunities, just from one game we saw from Scrub. Let's look at game number 4. And we can go back to Scrub. Here we go. So do we see that same Scrub? I think we will. I think the few times Scrub has been caught out positionally have been so glaring that it's so fresh in people's minds that they think about Scrub's third man positioning being not ideal. But you haven't seen him pull himself out too much against Team Queso. We'll see how they do when they play against Endpoint, when we look at their replays after this one. Scrub was hoping for that midfield boost. He didn't get it. But again, turning right back into the play, not leading for a canister. And he did end up getting that midfield boost anyway. But he was still available to make something happen. Queso have to work around Scrub. I think that's the one thing about being in the way that helps. Back again. And Jack is just playing nuts this whole series. Scrub has not had to do a lot. I don't think he's felt a lot of pressure. He'll come straight back. Just misses pathing on the boost there. He's only left with 25. If he flips back the right way here, let's see, right after the kickoff, grabs this boost pad. I don't even think he needs to flip back here, but he wants to flip back to respond quickly. But he can definitely get the pads along that path. You see him just miss 12.5 there, and he just misses 12.5 there. So he could have half a tank of boost here. Be a lot more threatening. Instead, he has to manage his boost to maintain momentum with the play. Still got 46. So while, yeah, he flipped back and missed 2 pads. And it could have been the difference, but he made up for it with a couple of good pad grabs on his way up. And he never took himself out of the play. Now back on defense, he's got the save. Jack tried to get in front of it, but Scrub turns right back in. Again, a good cut. 10 boost, Joyo's off of it. You get a better clear that way. That's an insane pass, and Scrub's very happy Rise didn't connect on that one. Thanks. I can't, we're going to do Vatira as well later on for Spotlights. I'm excited because Vatira is one of those new exciting players in Europe. Here's Scrub again. All he's got to do is win the 50. It's just, he doesn't have to work too hard for some of these. Let's Rise drop that. He'll swing around and pad himself right back into the play. And it isn't until that touch right there from Joyo that Scrub turns off, sees he has a little bit of time. So he's like, yeah, I'll swing around for the boost. That touch Scrub will be able to respond with a full tank. But it's the initial pathing that I think we see from a lot of other players that we've looked at. How many players have we seen that flip out? They go to the midfield boost. If that's not there, they go to the corner boost. They take themselves out of the play. Here, Scrub can respond a lot faster, but as soon as that's taken out, he doesn't want to go up and challenge that. He'd rather take the boost, and now he can respond, and I just think that he could have turned in and made a better play. Maybe. That's pretty fast. Yeah, that would be an aggressive turn from Scrub. Joyo's still on the ground, but let's say right about, the pathing is good to right here to where he could turn in really a little bit before here. So he was right here before, right? So if he just turns into the play right there, Joyo's still on the ground. You can actually win. You could probably win that ball. You have about 50 boost. You could get up to the ball and at least force a 50, but it won't give Joyo a free touch. But it's hard to read where exactly that play is going to go. You can see the uncertainty factor is pretty high here as you're coming back. And so as the ball kicks out, Scrub's going to take the safer option and go for the boost instead and collect the boost. But then he ends up, Joyo ends up putting it right over top of him. So let's look. So he jumps up and he's real late to that. There's no chance he's going to get to that ball. They don't get scored on here, but I do think that was an opportunity left on the table for Scrub to be more aggressive and really push the pin against Queso there. He could get up. He probably beats... He might even beat Joyo to that ball, honestly. Get the touch out. Pre-flip to stay with the ball. Woohoo! Yeah, Scrub showing you boost is a crutch. Use your momentum to your advantage. Pulls this one out. Avoids the bump. Knows he's got a little boost, so he's just going to kick that one high. Vatira misses it. He'll pre-flip into that. And then Joyo's got to make sure he tries to win this touch. But Scrub, he's got the momentum. And he gets that second touch. He gets that light touch off the pre-flip. That sends the ball upward off that and makes Joyo's job harder, rather. Scrub's got momentum because he flipped into that ball. And so his recovery swings him upward, and the momentum carries him back into the ball itself, and he doesn't need the boost. Good touch out to the corner. And that's an insane pass. But still, he's going to follow it up. Close second man here for Scrub. And he doesn't have to do anything, but he was ready for it. Scrub willing to play that aggressive second man. Rely on the small pads to give him the boost he needs to respond to the situation. And yeah, in these two games at least, I don't think Scrub has taken himself out of the play all too often. I'm curious if that's going to be the same against Endpoint. Here he is in position for that, and he missed it. Could have been a fourth goal. Queso sneaked back into this game. I just want to see how. We'll see if we can pick on Scrub a little bit. Smart touch, put it away from the attacker. Had to use a lot of boost to contend with Joyo there. And that's just a product of, as we see, high touch to beat Vatira to the ball. Also have to get around Vatira. He's got too much momentum carrying him upwards, so he's not able to slow down when he wants to. But that's also because Vatira is in the way. So he has to drive by Vatira and then slow down. So right there, he doesn't want to get bumped out of the way by Vatira. Can't hit the brakes fast enough to get under that ball. And so he ends up neutral hopping on top of this and tries to get flat across that ball. So Scrub, it's not the best catch, but you do force the 50 against Joyo, and that's all that really matters. You don't always need the outplay. This is really tight for Scrub, and he makes the touch again. He only had 7 boosts, and he got above the crossbar line. Look at this. Not taking himself out of the play. He used 7 boosts to try to get off the wall. Waits for Rise's touch. He sees that pad. He does grab that pad, so it's 19. Sorry, not 7. Rise plays that up, and Scrub gets up there just in time, but he's never really out of position here. That ball pops down. He sees Rise jump up. He knows Rise isn't going to get an immediate shot there. It comes up. Scrub turns off. Well, maybe not. Maybe that could be a shot for Rise. But it ends up not being a shot. I'm actually curious. So Scrub takes this back. I say Scrub makes the right decision here, but really he just makes the most of 0 boost and what I think is maybe a poor touch from Rise. But again, it's just pressure for Queso, so they keep it up. And Rise has insane passes. But Scrub got up to that ball. There's not much you can do with 19 boost. You got to keep yourself close to the play. If Rise does go for that shot, Scrub can probably hop up and try to make a play on that ball. But that's really tight. I think Queso made a series of pretty decent passes there to get by Dignitas' defense. Scrub. See him swing across again, just in case. Finding a bumper demo could create more value. Jorias just wins every 50. And oh. Now Scrub here, again, the follow-up, you're expecting Jorias to at least push that ball in front of the box, right? It ends up not happening, and Jack is following that play pretty closely as well. So it's fine for Scrub to cover this option. And then Jack ends up getting scored on. Again, when you position as aggressively as you do right here, you're picking the best possible option for Jorias. And it's not a bad pick for Scrub. You see Jorias is on the back side of the ball. You think he's going to be able to push it in front of the box. It doesn't happen. Jack says, oh no, I'm in trouble. It's a one-on-one against Vatira, and Vatira outplays him. Scrub just can't get back in time, but I think that you talk about setting yourself up for the most amount of options. I don't think there's any real reason Scrub has to position here, because even if that ball kicks out, Rise coming after it, it will actually give Scrub a chance, a shot at net. But here's the thing. Does Scrub get the same type of opportunity if he positions himself a little bit flatter? So instead of flipping forward, let's go back. And right here, instead of flipping forward, why not let Joyo swing past you? And then kind of vert this way. Oops. Skirt this way. Set yourself up behind Joria's. You can still creep up. Scrub could still be like right here. He could be right behind Joria's. That's fine. But being right here takes yourself out of half of the possible options of where that play is going to go. At least from this position, you will be able to follow the ball up in the corner or on net a lot quicker. And I think that Scrub would have just as quality of an opportunity if he positions himself a little bit behind Joria's on this play. Even if Joria's pushes it in front of the box later, I think he's going to have a better opportunity on net if he goes around the ball there. Now, he might flip to try to avoid this bump from Joyo, but I don't think he needs to be going full speed there. I think he can swing around him, let his momentum carry you past him, drive right by him, and then maybe this doesn't happen. So, I think it's fine. I think it's fine if Scrub wants to position aggressively as second man. You've got apparently Jack behind you. A lot of it comes down to trust in your third man. But you also, as second man, want to give yourself the chance at, as many of the options that could happen. Again, not trying to predict the optimal future, but trying to predict the most possible futures. And we're only looking at Scrub, so you could say, well, Jack, what were you doing all the way up there? And you absolutely could say that. But we're looking at Scrub and what Scrub could have done better. And I do think Scrub actually puts that ball in the net 10 times out of 10 if he positions behind Joria's there, rather than the optimistic positioning of right in front of the box, where really only one type of touch or pinch is going to put that ball out towards you. That's Scrub against Queso. Not willing to take himself out of the play. He's very comfortable sitting around playing with low boost. Like, how many times on offense do we see him sitting on 40 or lower? And we're going to look at games 2 and 3 with Endpoint in the semifinals against in the semifinals in Regional 3 in the the Grand Prix. And let's see if some of these trends continue. Now, Endpoint, I would say them and Queso, they kind of want to play you similarly. Very aggressive teams. They will come up and challenge you for a lot of things. We know Relating Wave loves to just go for the challenge about every time. So Scrub going to sit back here and take that play away from Seiko. No boosts. And Jack's going to cash that one out. Scrub's not got a lot of boost here, but Jack with a full carry will allow him to come in. Now, Scrub has actually not collected himself a lot of boosts here, and he does get to shove that ball out. But you can see Scrub's emphasis on his pathing is always near those small pads. Whenever he's pushing up the field, he's really eyeing the small pads. He's trying to pick up a couple whenever he gets a chance. That's not something that we have seen out of a lot of players that we've reviewed so far. I do know that some players are better at it than others, and it's actually nice to see that Scrub Killa really has an emphasis on it. Here, still staying in the play. Jack's also going to flip forward for that. Scrub has less boost. He wins the 50. He'll take those pads away, and Joria's will score. So, here we go again. Seiko puts that ball in front, but Scrub was ready for it because his positioning was great to defend that play. Jack is playing the failsafe. Now Scrub goes up. He's picked himself up 23 boost. Jack is following up Joria's touch immediately right here. But Scrub, this is good. This is good sense from him. He sees where this challenge could be going. Joria's is on the left side of the ball. Metzenaris is more on the right side, on his side of the ball. So, what does that tell you? Physics tells you likely the ball goes somewhere out here. And if it does end up going straight back, guess what? Jack's got a clean look at the net. So it is aggressive positioning, but Scrub also has the benefit of seeing both Seiko and Relating Wave rotating back out of net. So he can afford to push up full length with his team here. And if this challenge is juicy enough, they can really create a counterattack opportunity out of it. So I like Scrub's positioning, and again, working with low boost, but keeping yourself in the play is something that he's done consistently. And now that's exactly what happens. The ball kicks out to the side, uses a little bit of boost to flip into this. And he doesn't have a lot, but that's all right, right? He's able to get to that 50. You do force Seiko and Metsunaris to set up shop on defense. Winning that 50 against Relating Wave really helps, and Jorby scores. But again, that doesn't happen if Scrub doesn't have the recognition on defense of what's going on with Endpoint and the positioning of everything that's happening here. He's like, oh, Metsunaris is all by himself. Jack is following up the left side of the play, but I can get to this ball faster if it happens to go this way. And that's exactly what happens. And even with 18 boost, only uses 5 to get himself into position and to touch that ball outwards, and then uses the rest as he launches up the wall to square up against the ball, against Relating Wave, and dodge into it to get that impulse momentum that we've talked about, right? Dodges create impulse momentum, which is momentum out of nothing. Relating Wave doesn't have that luxury. He has to have the momentum that he's accelerated into, and he's got too much lateral momentum to beat the impulse momentum of Scrub Killa. So big play from Scrub Killa with low boost, again showing why boost is a crush. I like the idea on the catch there. It just wasn't clean enough. It's not bad, but with how tight the angle is there, Seiko has to respond quickly. It does force the ball back out over to the corner and forces Metsunaris to make a good play on it. Scrub Killa rotating back, and he makes a good save. Again, back post rotation, and he's able to flip back and get a pass out to Jorby's. Oh, a light double commit. Now, Jack won that ball pretty well, so it bought some time, but this definitely puts Scrub out of the play. And I think that's definitely a situation where you let Jack take that ball, right? You only got 17 boost. At that point, Scrub should be rotating out. He should be picking up pads, let Jorius come in. Instead, he makes, for my measure, 2 bad decisions here. He goes out. Now, I don't know how this play develops in front, so maybe this isn't the worst decision, but I definitely don't, after what we've seen from Scrub, you know Endpoint have control of the ball. So is the optimal decision really to take yourself out of the play and go for the midfield boost? Because now you're going to have to expend boost to get back into the play. You're just going to be rushing yourself. You have to flip back into it, and the play's pulled back out. And maybe Jack doesn't get a big clear if you rotate a little closer. But rotating closer will at least give you you're playing the failsafe at that point, and you're not giving Endpoint any kind of free chance or space at the ball. So, nothing happened out of it for Scrub. He was able to get that boost, and Jack was able to clean up. But if Jack can't win that 50, then Scrub is not going to be able to respond to that play in time. So again, there's Jack again, screening for a demo. Or not Jack, excuse me, Scrub Killa, screening for a demo. That's fine. Take that corner boost away. He's looking at Relating Wave. And now he gets right back into the play. So Scrub went full headhunter mode there for a second. He saw Relating Wave was maybe eyeing up where exactly he was going to go for that. Maybe trying to avoid Relating Wave on his way back on the demo. Just making sure that Relating Wave doesn't demo him. Or maybe he can demo Relating Wave. Either way, Scrub doesn't let it mess with his pathing too much, and he gets right back into the touch, and he follows his touch up well again. Lands back on the boosts. Endpoint are giving Dignitas a lot of high touches to contend with. That's forcing Scrub to sit and wait on a couple of these. Whoop, and he's just a little too far up on that one, yep. So, how does this all transpire? Scrub comes up. He's a little jumpy. And yeah, I mean, it's not really the worst positioning from Scrub, let's be honest. But I don't know why you're jumping. Like, I don't know why he's jumping there at all. Let's see. Sees touch. Why are you jumping, Scrub? Did he want to play fast? Did he want to get up to the play really fast? Because that's not what you want to do there. I just think hesitation and uncertainty there from Scrub Killa. I think as soon as he jumped, he realized his mistake. And that was the moment. As soon as he lands, it's like that's the moment he knew he messed up. Like, he lands right here, And then he's like, oh no, this could end badly. And then it ended badly. Barely. He almost got to that ball. That's why I say it's not the worst positioning from Scrub. And had he just not jumped, he probably wouldn't have been out of position. So, wanting to be Speedy Boy. Wanting to get that quick wave landing. But it ends up burning you. Now Scrub's still going to play aggressively here. And that's good. That's a good 50. Now he's just got to get down. And he got the boost steal. Now rotate back when Seiko's got control. Joreus forces it out to the corner. And he's in position for it. And he won the boost on top of it. And he's got the dribble. And he's got the goal. Oh! I didn't look at the timeline. I didn't look at the timeline. Scrub. No. Oh, I feel so bad. So it comes out. I think Scrub, a couple solid touches. He wins the 50 here, right? And then that touch right there just gets away from him. Ball's going a little too fast, and he tries to catch up to it, and then it bounces off the crossbar in the worst way. Tough stuff for Scrub. Back's third man, up again. And he wins that touch as well. He's going to break up Endpoint's counterattack. He's in position for Joreus' touch. Maybe wanted a bump on his way, but Metanaris was a little too far inwards for him to take. And now Scrub's ready again. So the rotation is really clean from Scrub Killa overall. There was just that one play that you see him get caught out on. Maybe this happens at the crazy amount of goals Endpoint score at the end of the game here, but I'm not seeing this poor third man Scrub that everyone's talking about. I am seeing a lot of great carries from Jack, and I think that Jack has bailed Scrub out of a couple of situations, but I also think you could say the same about Scrub for Jack. I think it goes both ways. It's not just a one-way street. Like, Scrub has had a lot of really solid 50-50s that have either stopped an Endpoint counterattack or have at least given Dignitas a chance on offense. But I don't think you could certainly say that he's just been a floppy third man. I don't think so at all. And that was just a goal. Joreus gets a nice shot. Let me just look at the lead up one more time, just see if there's anything I missed. I think Scrub was out of the play for most of this. Seiko comes back, but he cuts in on the play. And it can be so tempting as a defender when you see this, especially Seiko, to swing back instead of swinging up. Instead of doing what Scrub's doing here, which is allowing the boost to guide his path. Allow the boost pads to determine how you can approach this next challenge. So he wants to take Seiko head on before he gathers too much momentum. A lot of times you'll see players start to swing a little wide here and then try to cut in later. But you give an attacking player in a dribbling situation way too many opportunities to do that. So instead, Scrub wants to cut the attack off at the head instead of letting that head gain any steam before Seiko gets enough momentum. And you see Seiko even trying to drop that ball down. He won't have any chance to outplay because of Scrub's pathing and positioning here. So grabs these two, follows Seiko perfectly, jumps in front. There's no chance that Seiko's going to get that ball over him with the way Scrub makes his car big and blocks off the outlet for Seiko. Again, stays in that play, and then that happens. So he gets bumped out by Metz. And unfortunately for him, now he's got to contend with that ball. And it's straight into the net. Oof. This one feels real bad if you're Scrub. And again, these kickoffs where teams are always going to cheat up on that kickoff, right? Seiko, he gets the strong side of the ball. He also gets the boosts. And then Scrub gets bumped by Metanaris in front. That just makes his turnaround really awkward there. Jorius doesn't know that Scrub is totally out of sorts here, so he's not in position, and oh my God! Metanoris dropping a massive host. I forgot I had that sound on. Oh my goodness, what's up, Mets? Thank you for the host. We just watched Scrub get scored on again. Oh, poor Scrub. I'm not even going to blame the last one on him. He got bumped out of the kickoff. He had no boost on the play. And now, oh, that feels real bad if you're Scrub. Let's look at that one more time. So he turns up a little bit here. It looks like Jorius initially might get a kick on the ball there against Seiko. But by the time Scrub realizes and the play is developed enough, Seiko's got full lead on the ball, and now Scrub recognizes he's out of position, and that's 2 kickoff goals for Endpoint, and they've somehow stolen this game. This is the only time we've seen Scrub actually out of position is off of 2 kickoff goals, and then that one time where it skipped weirdly off of Relating Wave's car. So no, I don't buy the Scrub is a floppy third man argument. He just sucks on the kickoff. That's it. Look at this, comes forward and Relating Wave's got a beat. And that's Scrub Killa here against Endpoint. But up until that point, right up until those kickoffs, you know, Scrub, all the same things that we saw when we were watching the play against Team Queso is smart positioning, letting the boost pads, rather than the canisters, dictate your pathing, and letting the pads keep you in the play. Scrub is really good at that. He doesn't care if he has low boost. He will still be in the play and be able to respond. And that is also a product of, again, having Jack and Jorius on your team and having a lot of faith in your third man. Messanar says that's called the Endpoint kickoff, and it worked to great effect. It's a great effect there against Dignitas. Now, I think Dig win this game. They do. So let's see if we see that same Scrub. All right. So this time on the kickoff, what happens? Scrub is again on the follow-up. This time he actually gets the touch on the follow-up. And so Seiko and Metanaris can't immediately just ruin his life. Here we go again. Close third man comes up to challenge Seiko. And that's fine. Now a lot of space. Looked like some hesitation between both Jorius and Scrub. I think they both... You see them both see each other there? Like, Jorius and Scrub, like, they see each other in their cams and they're like, oh no. All right, I'm going to back up. He's there. Then Scrub finally decides to go. That's good enough, though. He got the 50. Jorius way back in the corner. That's fine. Again, here's Scrub. Wanting to push up the play. We see that same little wave landing that got him into trouble before, but Dignitas were in control of the play this time. Now he's going to rotate out, give Jack the leeway. As soon as Jack has control, morphs into that follow-up spot. Goes away from him, so he gives it to Jorius. And he's still in position. Never took himself out of it. Even after the play was Jorius's, Scrub just meshes right into the rotation and keeps the pressure high. Ooh, what a save. That's just a boost forward and, you know, get there if your teammate doesn't. Save from Scrub, and then rotates back again. Clean defensive rotations. I'm literally not going to hear the bad-mouthing about Scrub Killa. I'm just not going to hear it, okay? Grabs this boost pad, picks up a clutch save, tries to stay behind that ball. He does so. Relating Wave doesn't get a clean catch. Jorius is able to challenge that ball. And look, Scrub's flipped back. He's bought himself a couple of pads. Now he's in position to save Mets and Norris's shot. That's exactly what he does. Mets gets the boost steal there. Scrub is locked on the back wall with very low boost, but that's a good initial touch. He's able to force that ball off of Seiko on the 50, and that is Scrub Killa killing the ball in the corner and giving Jorius and Jack chances to break out. Thank you, Timmel Pimmel, for the sub. Really appreciate it. Back again. Scrub picking up some pads, but not taking himself out of this play. Never at this point is Scrub comfortable enough to say, you know what? Now's a good time to go for corner boost. There are players we looked at today that you could not say the same thing about. So Jack gets up in front. Scrub doesn't really commit until he sees that play in front of him. And even then, he knows Jack still has the play in front. He's going to wait for that 50 to develop in front of Relating Wave. He gets bumped by Wave on that play. And so that's why he's kicked out of it. But you can't fault his positioning. I would say he was quite patient there with Jack, letting Jack finish that play out before he took a chance at it. A good little lob up. Metzenaris gets kicked off the play. But Scrub, again, able to make another 50. You're not giving endpoint free counterattacks. That's always the key. Again, small pad pathing. Keep Scrub in the play. You're seeing it consistently. Up high. That's tough. You're left all by your lonesome here. And it definitely looked from Scrub's perspective like Wave was at least had a chance at connecting on that double tap, so you could understand the hesitation there from Scrub to go in for that. But again, in position off the far post rotation, and he's able to pick up the save. So coming back, he sees that play develop in front. He's third man. Jorby is lost. Jack lost it, but it's forced Metzenaris up high, and so it's made Scrub's job as third man a little easier. He can just jump up and beat Seiko to that play. And he's got the touch out to Jack as well. And they even score on it. So Scrub integral in all of these pushes. And I think you really see the strength of the Dignitas roster.
Thanks.
With Scrub on it. Through the couple of games we've watched. Endpoint do eventually win this whole series. But there hasn't been too much you could fault Scrub Killa for. He missed that 50, but they didn't get scored on. So you know what? I'm not going to rewind. And Scrub waits, plays that ball out. It's a little more comfortable for Jack, although he was backwards. It's not comfortable anymore. Metzenaris got a full ball. And Jorby makes a nice challenge. So now Scrub immediately flipping forward. He'll steal a boost out. He wants a bump. He's not going to get one. And he doesn't stick around too long. Immediately rotates back. Only 16, but he's going to stay with Jack on this play. Ooh. Now we'll let it keep going, but I'm actually really curious. Now Scrub's got the flip reset. Metzenaris not going to have it, or it's Relating Wave, I think, that made the challenge. Seiko trying to carry this one out. And Seiko's nuts. Scrub no boosts. I'm paying attention to the ball more than paying attention to Scrub right now. I need to be looking at Scrub. It's got 23 back in net, rotating. And you see, that's... I know some people were picking on him earlier, but he's very favorable on that. I'm going to wave dash out of the box to be right in the play and have a lot of boost. Love the delay there as well. Really squaring up. I guess, you know, it takes good game sense and patience and no panic to be able to not just throw your car at this ball. You see that slight hesitation, Scrub making sure that he's squaring up that ball against Relating Wave, because he knows that if that 50 goes the wrong way, or if he's too far on the right side of this ball, Relating Wave is going to get the easiest goal of his life off of Scrub's car. But instead you see that slight hesitation. He's really eyeing up how Relating Wave is taking that 50, turns right in front of the ball, and is able to square up on it. That's patience built tough. And they get scored on. But that's not really Scrub's fault. Scrub wins that first 50. He can't win that touch, but he was there, and that's all that really matters. That's a tough shot. Relating Wave made life really tough for Jorby there. And put it pretty good. I don't know if you guys knew that. Scrub will happily take that midfield boost back into net. Hard touch, but he knows he got the clear. Oh my goodness. So, this is real simple, but my goodness, Seiko's there. Scrub gets such a hard touch here, and as he's flipping, he's turning his car upwards. He boosts into it, and then tilts his car down to get his power, the power that he needs to put that ball down. There is no chance Seiko's getting to that ball. Put some respect on my boy, Scrub Killa. That's a nutty shot. That's a nutty shot. We must have got some of the real favorable games with Scrub. Because besides the kickoff, things really weren't that wonky for him. He had low boost a lot of the time, even on offense, on defense. But I think what Scrub is really showing you is how to make the most of your positioning and how to use your boost efficiently. I think Scrub is pretty good at that. Yeah, I think he showcased that pretty well. And well, as a player, I'm a bigger Scrub fan now after watching